posting a video to send my love to my family and my friends out there and make a couple of updates on general circumstances. I'm broadcasting live at the moment from the tender bosom of the Mammoth Maiden. We're located at one of my favorite spots down here on the dog beach. Well, I should say parked in front of the dog beach as you enjoy the view out of our wonderful sunroof. I'm basically relaxing. It's a nice day off. I'm enjoying the scenery and I'm actually brewing some coffee. It's kind of cold out there. So I wanted to let everybody know that I'm doing good. My circumstances are steadily improving. I'm making more money and I'm getting closer and closer to getting myself a new permanent home. I have had a bit of a quandary about whether these circumstances have disqualified me as a candidate for lieutenant governor. So I've sent an email to the Secretary of State asking whether or not my temporary relocation has disqualified me as a candidate, which I suspect hasn't, due to the filing processes, in that I've filed a declaration, or excuse me, an intent to campaign form 501, but as a chosen write-in candidate, my nomination period doesn't start until April 6th, where I have to gather nomination petition paperwork and get between 65 and 100 voters to sign my petition to support me running as a write-in candidate for lieutenant governor. So that whole process doesn't start until April. So at this point, I'm not entirely sure if my relocation circumstances actually are interfering with that, because I haven't technically filed that next necessary document or started that next process. Either way, I've explained the situation to the Secretary of State and that I intend to get a new dwelling by April 1st, which is before my nomination period starts. So hopefully the fact that I have a post office box now in the interim and all the other necessary personal affairs in order, hopefully my circumstances at present are sufficient, and presuming I get another dwelling by April 1st, that will be sufficient as well for me to continue campaigning. So I'm just kind of letting everybody know. As I told the Secretary of State, I'm very honest and open, and I will always attempt to keep them or anyone else within my sphere of activity informed of situations like this, so that they can be properly dealt with. Whatever the regulations are, they are. If I can't continue to campaign, those are the breaks, and I will just have another go at it again at another time. So that's my general candidate situation. Oh, looks like the coffee's done. That's great. So yeah, things are good. I got a lot of work. I got some new and old clients that I'm working for again now, and my prospects for even more prosperity are improving. In the meantime, I'm enjoying something of a threefold life experience here. At any given point, I could be relaxing at a lavish B&B over on the bay for a week or so, enjoying all the amenities, or I could be crashed out on my friend's sofa, or I could be camping out here in the Maiden, which is pretty cozy. These things were built in Canada, and they are super insulated. She's got everything: microwave, stove, refrigerator, generator. I bought a new coffee maker for the occasion. So I've got my friend Bumble here on guard, protecting the Maiden, myself, while I'm snoozing. So yeah, I'm kind of something of a political vagabond at this point, but that's okay. My whole life has just been one series of challenges and circumstances where I've had to deal with adversity. And the older I've gotten, the more and more I look at these adverse situations as, frankly, leadership tests. It's a challenge for me to just maintain my composure and always try to do the right thing at the right time, and always be considerate of the people around me and the people that support me and the people that care about me. And just try to stay disciplined, stay stay frugal and stay positive and just keep finding ways to move forward and make the best of the circumstances. So that's basically it. I'm doing good. Weather's looking a little gloomy. That's okay. Things are cozy here in the Mammoth Maiden. It's always a fun place to be. Might relax later and fire up the television, enjoy some situation comedy or something, which I honestly never do. I would rather watch something like a history documentary or something that's going to inform me and continue to educate me, particularly about things like leadership, making command decisions during very stressful and crisis-filled situations, something I seem to have been getting groomed for all my life. So I want to send my love to my family out there, my brother-in-law, considering my beloved sister's birthday is approaching, and she's not forgotten in our hearts. So I want to send my brother-in-law a big hug. Let you and the rest of the family know I love you, and I hope you guys are going to be doing better and better. I wanted to send my love to the Camp family and the McIntoshes and the Yeski family, and send my cheerful wishes to everyone out there. You know, it's been probably the most difficult year I've had to deal with in recent memory. And I'd like everyone to know that I haven't at any juncture considered drinking or doing anything like that, returning to old ways. No, that's not me. No, I'm completely grown out of that, and I've forgotten about doing things like that to relieve my pressure. I try to do more productive things like take a walk, go talk to people I like, do something positive or productive. So there you go, folks. Assuming, I shouldn't use that word, optimistically speaking, if my campaign does resume in April, technically April 6th, I believe, I've got 2 months to just get out there and rattle the cage of the establishment. And that's basically my intention. My message and my intention as a candidate, particularly, I think, necessarily at the state level, is that we need to return back to basics here, ladies and gentlemen. We need to return to fairness and equality and the rule of law when it comes to government policies and practices. We need to start demanding leaders that intend to cooperate with each other, intend to collaborate, and find positive and progressive solutions to our day-to-day problems and our other long-term looming problems. This political vendetta fighting between the overzealous left and the overzealous right is getting us nowhere. It's just creating more and more dire circumstances, while the rest of us, which are the moderates, the centrists, the apolitical, are being driven out of the process by this vendetta politics, which honestly is part of the reason they do it. They want to wear you out, frustrate you, disappoint you, so that the people who I consider the adults in the room with the most common sense are so frustrated and disgusted by the process, they just don't want to participate. And these people are counting on that. That's why it continues to get worse and worse. So we need the adults in the room to start realizing we need to collectively start taking responsibility for our government and start demanding leaders that are going to lead in the best interests of everyone. Uh, it's a matter of fact that we have moved into this new age of Aquarius, which most people don't quite understand. It's the age of reason. Okay, we're supposed to be maturing and progressing as a species, uh, as a social network. We've been through an age of violence and warfare and avarice and greed and destruction, and we are supposed to be on calendar and on schedule to enter this age of reason and start using reason and logic and common sense and cooperation and diplomacy to start solving problems and working together. And those steps, those attitudes, those policies are directly contrary to the current circumstances and the current status quo. So I really am going to be pushing a message of back to basics, the fundamentals of American constitutional law, states' rights, less federalism. Okay, we need to remember that the states are sovereign and the citizens have the power of consent. It is through your consent via our state representatives that the federal government functions. And if we acknowledge that these leaders who are not performing their oaths of office in upholding and defending the constitutional rights of the citizens, they're enacting policies that are inexplicable and blatantly corrupt. They're effectively forfeiting their right to exercise authority. We therefore, as voters, as citizens, have the right to revoke our consent, to tell them you have forfeited your right to occupy your office, whether it's the governor or the president or a congressman or a council person. It doesn't matter. And you don't need an election to tell these people to resign. It's through the elections that they continue to hold their grasps on power. So I think the people need to kind of realize and refresh their memories on how our constitutional government functions. It's through our consent that our representatives are supposed to represent us. And if they don't do that, if they are looting the tax coffers for billions and billions of dollars for whatever excuse, and they can't explain where it went, they're taking that money out of your pocket and that food off of your table. And they're lying to you. And they're playing a game with all of us stuck in the middle, counting on this disillusion and this disappointment and this frustration within the silent majority to to be their form of leverage against any change. So the adults in the room need to start pointing their fingers at these leaders, whether they're in office or they're proposing to be leaders, and asking them some direct questions. Are you going to cooperate? Are you going to solve problems? Are you going to follow the law? Are you going to demonstrate some transparency when it comes to financial matters? If these people propose to be leaders, but all they want to do is fight with each other, they're not going to get us anywhere. All right. We can't fight our way to progress. We can't battle our way to solutions. And we're certainly not going to get anywhere continuing this political vendetta between the left and the right. So, once again, the time has come for the mature adults to accept their responsibility, to start at least voicing their opinion in the direction of exercising common sense, compassion for the people that are at the bottom rung of our society. You know, it's often been said that it's the condition of the poor that reflects the true grandeur of a nation. And if you look at the disadvantaged people on our streets that are dying every day, that's the true testament of the grandeur of America. And the reason that's happening is because there's no progress, there's no solutions, there's nothing but vendetta politics and just this continuous cycle. So, whether I get anywhere in this campaign, I'm still going to continue this message. And it might take another campaign or another campaign. Who knows? But I'm going to continue to voice this message of the moderate center. We are tired of it. We are tired of being yanked one way and then yanked another and punished vicariously because of the vendetta being served to satisfy one or the other victors. Okay, this just can't work anymore. As I remind people that our national debt is astronomical, okay, just out of control, and it's unsustainable. Same thing with our state debt. So, it's just you can't just sit back and suck in all the benefits of being an American and not take some responsibility for yourself, for your community, and for the people that you accept as leaders. And you can't let the media and all of these special interest groups drown you out or fear you out or ignore you. This just can't go on. So I think it's necessary to remind people of the true state of the political state here in America. And I'm going to be posting the link to the most important film, I think, in the past 5 decades regarding the true nature of the political environment here in America that I think everyone needs to watch. And it's The Fall of Minneapolis, which is a incredibly moving film that is a very glaring expose on the reality of the political elitist environment that we are living in, whether it's in Minneapolis or in Sacramento or Miami or Dallas or New York. It's all the same. You have these elitists who are on the same team pitting the people against each other, using tragic circumstances to create nothing but division and hostility and tension and stagnation. So I think if you consider yourself a mature American and you think that you are informed and aware of the reality of our political environment, I think you should test yourself and watch this film, because you're going to see the true reality. And I think it's important for everyone to watch this, because you have the same elitists, including the leaders of law enforcement, throwing law enforcement under the bus in order to create social warfare. And it's awful. Okay, the thin blue line is now being used more like a fishing line for tension and division, and all it's doing is creating more and more problems, more and more demoralization within the law enforcement community, and it's just furthering the agenda of these people. So I send my heart out to everyone in law enforcement, every moderate and mature American out there, and every concerned Californian. You know, we got to take a real stark look at our circumstances and start dealing with these problems, because otherwise we're never going to get anywhere, and things are only going to continue to get worse. So, but I'm an eternal optimist. And I think that if enough people can just start kind of chiming in on the same common sense wavelength, we might actually start getting somewhere. So we'll see how it goes. So once again, I encourage everyone out there to support Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco for our new governor, and former Sheriff Alex Villanueva as the new LA County Sheriff. I think electing those two men would send a great message to the general establishment that law and order, honesty, and the rule of law are necessary and vital, and being demanded. So once again, whether or not I get elected lieutenant governor or not, I would still like to work with or for Governor Bianco, presuming he wins, to have a pair of like minds in that office. See if we can actually start moving some progressive solutions forward. So we'll see. So send my love to everyone out there. Best wishes from the Mammoth Maiden and Rosie's Dog Beach. Hope you're all doing well. Take care.